y'all, this is Molly K. Hope y'all are well. Want to share this story with you because it's very interesting. The timing of it is interesting, especially with all the destabilization that is going on in, um, across Africa. The fact that this is where those folks picked us up from and where they are trying to get us to go back to. When I say they, I mean some of the nations on the continent are. Seeking for us to get reparations and trying to gently tell who we are. And the fact that there's this overwhelming predictive programming that's happening with these zombie things. You hear about the zombie deer in Yellowstone, and they keep talking about the zombie apocalypse that's supposed to happen this year. It was even talked about in The Simpsons. And so, I have to question all the various methods that could be used to attack us. So, I talked about last year, probably earlier last year, about folks who use drugs. Like, if you use drugs recreationally, like, you are really playing with your life because, even in small towns, people have gotten hold to, fentanyl laced crack and fentanyl laced weed and fentanyl laced pills and just die suddenly. Like, they just be drug addicts, and then one day they get hold to the wrong thing and then they're gone. And so the fact that these people in Africa are having a zombie drug epidemic is real perplexing to me. And we know what time it is. I got to be careful about what I say. But I don't think this is by accident. I don't think the fact that they are showing young black men who are, and I say black, I mean African, but, for all intended purposes, because I'm talking about how those things impact us, this picture of us, our men, our future out here on drugs, like, this ain't by accident, okay? And this is supposed to be our future. This is supposed to be the ones who are going to help us fight against this system. Well, you can't fight if you high. You can't fight if you intoxicated. You can't fight if you can't see. You can't fight if you don't know who your enemy is because you are under the influence of something. And the fact that they are getting these young people addicted to drugs is insane to me. So let's talk about it. So a man shows his infectious and swollen feet at a Kush den in Freetown. Addicts often develop ailments and mental health problems after using the drug. So under a bridge near a bustling market in Freetown, the young people gather in their masses. Dressed in nothing but rags, they stand like zombies, shoulders slouched, heads cocked to the side as they aimlessly shuffle in circles. Many are without shoes, their feet bare and swollen with infection. Those that have yet to reach this catatonic state pass a joint between themselves. It's a mixture of opioids, cannabis, disinfectant, and locals say ground down human bones that have been dug up from graves. They inhale the fumes, slowly breathe out, and wait for euphoria's embrace. OMG. OMG. So gross. Amara Callan, a 21-year-old school dropout, is among the addicts here. He comes daily for his hit of Kush, a synthetic cannabinoid-like drug that is sweeping through youth of Sierra Leone's capital. It induces a long-lasting hypnotic high, which can detach users from reality for several hours, which is what we need, folks to be distracted for several hours. Our warriors to be distracted for several hours. This is devastating. And one day you you will not know, like, where does this come from? Like, where did they learn how to do this? When I smoke kush, I forget my problems. It usually takes me to ecstasy, says Amara, who is homeless. I used to smoke a couple of slings of marijuana a day, but after I was introduced to kush by my friends, I never turned back. I sold my clothes and books to satisfy my addiction. I started stealing household items, phones, pots, and dishes to buy drugs. Kush first emerged in Sierra Leone half a dozen years ago, so manufactured and distributed by criminal gangs. You know who the biggest criminal gang is, who manufactures and distributes drugs all over the place to black peoples, have them discombobulated and intoxicated so they cannot do the will of the Father. Y'all know who these people are, these gangs, these criminal gangs? hmm The drug typically costs 5 leones per joint, though many users will spend around 8 a day, a small fortune for a country with an average per capita income of under 400 a year. So I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's euro or I guess that's leon, 400 euro leon per year. The composition of the drug varies from place to place. Fentanyl and tramadol are said to be ingredients, as is formalin, a disinfectant. So these people are literally getting access to this stuff. Nobody talking about where it come from, just the criminal gangs. But y'all know how they get everything on the continent. It's placed there by their open enemies, who they don't consider enemies. There are several media reports of human bones being crushed up and added to kush, though there is no evidence to substantiate this. The drug has become commonplace across Sierra Leone, with whole neighborhoods and communities addicted to the narcotic. But putting a precise figure on usage rates is difficult. The Sierra Leone Psychiatric Teaching Hospital in Freetown. Teaching hospital. They have a teaching hospital. That means it's like a residency program. It means it does research on people. It treats people at low or no cost. And in exchange, they collect information on you, which is used for lots of projects. The number of referrals keeps rising on a daily basis, and many are sedated upon arrival at the facility due to the violent tendencies. We have already recorded nearly 2,000 cases of Kush addicts in 2023 at the hospital. Many are dying in homes and on the streets, says Dr. Jisu Matia, acting medical superintendent at the center. In 2020, it identified 47 people as users. In 2022, it was almost 1,101. Most of the patients are men between the ages of 18 and 25. Do y'all think that is a coincidence? I do not. That's the same age of men getting shot and killed over here through gang violence. That's the same age group of kids who becoming addicted to opioids, fentanyl, high on weed all the time, um, complaining about mental health issues, these emo kids. So there's something going on where this age group is being targeted, especially the men and the boys. So this is what we have to pay attention to. Although they're saying between the ages of 18 and 25, clearly something has to be going on with these young people before the age of 18 in order to make them transition. And so this is why we need to pay attention to what they're watching on social media, who their friends are, even the communities that you live in. Like when my kids were little, I didn't let them go out and be around everybody. They couldn't go to everybody's house. Everybody couldn't come to my house. I was policing all the time. And it's a challenge. It's a lot of work, but it's something that has to be done to protect your children. And right now, we're getting ready to be at a point where it is time for our community to stand up and protect itself. And our fighting age men, they wearing dresses. They run around here chasing booties and vaginas and not focused on, developing community, protecting community, traditional things that men were doing back in the day, protecting the women and children. The children are out here getting into all types of things because the parents are busy working and um, doing whatever. Maybe they're on drugs themselves, but our community in particular is in a state of disarray, because of substance abuse issues. And as you can see, it's not just in America. It just so happens it's in other countries too. Other countries where we hail from, other countries where the potential, some of these people are chosen people from tribes of Israel that need to be reclaimed and not scattered, who have a purpose, and the adversary knows their purpose, but they're keeping them distracted with and ensnared with things like substance abuse, bad music, sex, drugs, bad habits, new cultures that's not their culture, bad food, um, help from the enemy, all sorts of things. I don't think it's by accident at all. The Kush drug crisis is everywhere, but only a few are referred, and most of those treated end up relapsing, adds Dr. Matia. Amara Khan, 21-year-old Kush addict, dropped out of school and is homeless. Several of his friends and relatives have died of Kush addiction. The teaching hospital provides isolation treatment, which lasts 3 to 6 weeks, and antipsychotic drugs to help wean patients off their addiction. But it is the only facility of its kind offering active care to Kush patients in Sierra Leone. Indeed, there are just 5 psychiatrists in the entire country, home to roughly 8.4 million, according to the World Health Organization, making it impossible to tackle the spiraling epidemic. Sierra Leone's youth unemployment rate, which stands at 60%, one of the highest in the world, is further compounding the issue, experts say. Jobless people like Amara are turning to Kush in order to escape the harsh realities of life. I love it, he adds. It makes me feel happy for a moment, enough to forget my worries and societal problems. Just crazy. Well, he dropped out of school. That was his own choice. And then he goes to get on drugs. Like, I don't know the whole story, but drugs ain't the answer for nobody. For some users, Kush addiction can fuel serious psychiatric issues. There have also been reports of people developing swelling and infections, leading to open wounds on their legs, but there is no clear medical explanation for this. So to me, it sounds like meth, but they call it something else, because that's the same thing that people who get addicted to meth and fentanyl also experience, the skin situations and the infections. The drug can also prove fatal. When high, users have been known to bang their heads repeatedly against walls, walk into traffic, or fall from high places. Amara has lost several of his friends and relatives while being high on Kush, including one who fell over and hit his head on a rock, a blow which killed him. There's no official data available for deaths related to the drug, but health experts estimate around a dozen Kush users die weekly in Sierra Leone, with their bodies often recovered from the streets and slums. But it's not just Sierra Leone which is grappling with the fallout from Kush. A wave of addiction is slowly moving across West Africa. Think about it. That's where we come from. Why there? Not no other place, but there. It's not by accident, people. With the horrors of Freetown now being repeated in urban centers is code for black centers of Liberia and Guinea. If you understand the history of Liberia, it will open up it will open your eyes. I'll just say that. That's where they wanted to send us after they freed us. And they set up Liberia to send free slaves back there. So the fact that it's hidden in Liberia If there is an exodus, watch, those are the places that they're going to want to send us. Just watch now. And Guinea. Estimates suggest more than 1 million people from the region are now addicted. Kush is a very dangerous drug like heroin or cocaine. It's strong and cheap, easily available. There's a weak regulation and control over the sale of the drug, and it's becoming widespread in West Africa, says Dr. Edward Nahim, a consultant psychiatrist at the Sierra Leone Psychiatric Teaching Hospital. The lack of jobs and opportunities is a driving force, leaving many youths into drug addiction after disruption of economies by the COVID pandemic. And so that is one of the things that this whole agenda is also doing. Like, it's making people desperate, it's making people feel as though they have a sense of hopelessness, and so they're turning to drugs, and eventually they'll take themselves out, or somebody else will take them out because they are um, stealing or doing something else that causes them harm. So it is like this vicious cycle, but it's all a part of the plan. We're gonna leave him by hook or by crook. So that's why if you use drugs, if you smoke drugs, if you do any type of recreational activity with illegal or even some legal substances, I'm like, don't. We should just cut it out of your life because it's too dangerous now. I know people are always saying, I don't buy from people I know, but that doesn't matter. The people that you know don't know where, always know their sources, know where stuff is coming from. So you just got to be careful because there is another agenda out here, and those folks don't care about your recreational activities. Um, so it says the country struggles with the drug have notably turned political. During the nation's recent election, outgoing President George Weah, the former AC Milan and Chelsea footballer, was accused of tolerating the use and sale of the drug in the country. Weah lost the election to Joseph Boakai, the next president, partly because of the drug problem and the rampant corruption, says Emmanuel Degla, a local journalist based in Monrovia, the capital of Liberia. So that's interesting that they also have issues with entertainers turning into leaders and then misleading the people. Same pattern everywhere, except for we know our dragons, but those people there don't necessarily know the system like we know the system. So while they are trying to get rid of those who are corrupt, unfortunately, everybody looks like them, so you don't know who to trust. But there are some key indicators like folks transitioning from entertainment to politics. To me, that's a red flag. All right. And so um, it says his government has done very little to address the crisis, as Degla. In 2021, just US $20,000 from Liberia's annual budget is alleged to have been spent on mental health care provision. This funding was channeled into the ES Grant Mental Health Project, a psychiatric facility in Monrovia. There are a handful of other organizations dedicated to providing short-term rehabilitation and integration programs, but it's simply not enough in the face of a mounting drug epidemic. Liberian youth need help to address the social and economic problem with which is the which is the leading cause of the widespread use of drugs, says Degla. Government intervention is critical in supporting the rehabilitation and integration of addicts to become useful citizens in society. Guinea is battling a similar issue, and they have a large increase in the consumption of Kush over the past 3 years, timely, right along with according to the country's health ministry. As with Liberia and Sierra Leone, the nation's health care services are severely limited. There is just one specialized center based in Conakry, the capital of Guinea, that provides treatment for alcohol and drug abuse. Authorities in Guinea claim the Kush drug is imported into the country from Sierra Leone through porous borders. According to the police source, several vehicles have been intercepted attempting to cross the border between Sierra Leone and Guinea, laden with a substantial amount of narcotics, specifically Kush and cannabis, hidden in Garari bags and palm oil containers. Sierra Leone's Kamba district, which runs along the border of Guinea, has emerged as a notable hotspot for the trafficking of drugs and has become the key point for focus for local officials. So, anyway, I'm not going to continue reading this. I just want to share with you um, um, what's going on over there and why we should pay attention to it, because it could be happening here soon. A lot of projects, a lot of pilots, a lot of tests are being done all over the place. But they're not just being done for those places. I think they are going to be used on us simultaneously to try to take us out, especially our young men who love to be intoxicated, who love to smoke and drink and have fun, good time, not paying attention to what's happening in the world. So again, I'm going to implore you to stop recreational substance abuse, especially with drugs. Anything that you smoke, it's just not worth it. So, they talked about the UN getting involved, which I found very interesting because they don't want to get involved in the other stuff that needs to be involved. But it says during the UN sponsored meeting, Melrose Carmenti, Minister of Social Welfare, revealed that the government was seeking to decriminalize and rehabilitate users rather than punish them. And I don't know if you know about in other countries, like they don't tolerate all the stuff that we tolerate here in America. Like they don't allow that. They're very strict. And so for them to talk about decriminalize and rehabilitate rather than punish, that sounds like a very European type of thing that doesn't necessarily deter usage. It actually encourages usage. It makes things worse. So, with that said, I don't know if this is going to be one more thing that we have to worry about when it comes to all the things that are going to be unleashed on us. But I don't think by any means that this stuff's just going to be popping up in place. So we could be having crazy people who smoke, who live in your house, who smoke all the time, who begin acting like these young people because you don't know who the criminals are bringing the drugs into your community. So, because of that, I would avoid recreational substance abuse use or substance use, legal or otherwise, period. This ain't the time to be playing with pharmakia or no other sorcery that these folks create in order to keep people intoxicated. Learn how to deal with your problems and stop trying to escape everything. That is one problem with our people that we have that keeps us in bondage. We keep our mind in prison because we are too weak. We don't like to deal with our issues. Deal with your issues, whatever the issue is. Take it on head on. Don't just be like, I got to get high because I can't deal with life. The word tells us we should not be intoxicated on wine and, other things, because, you make terrible mistakes, you make terrible choices. You not only harm yourself, but you harm the people of your community, because you're not aware of what's going on. You can't protect them. You can't see them. You don't know what's happening. So just make sure that you are doing what you are supposed to do when it comes to refraining from engaging in these types of activities. And notice that they tie the word zombie to it, which is like a predictive programming that's happening now everywhere. The zombie apocalypse, zombie deer, zombie drug epidemic. People are going to be misbehaving, so you better be trying to have you some way to protect yourself. That's what I know. From animals and people. It's only the strong will survive, and the smart. Stupid people, they're going to be out of luck. All right, y'all. This is Marley K. Please like this video, share it, and subscribe to the channel if you like this type of content. Follow me on Rumble, Odyssey, Instagram, and Facebook. The links are in the description. Hit that bell notification so that you'll be notified, and make sure that that you're still subscribed to the channel in the event that the algorithms have unsubscribed you. Lastly, if you'd like to donate to the channel, links are in the description. This is a labor of love. I do this out of just the kindness of my heart, and so that I can warn my people about the things that are coming upon the earth, just like the Most High Creator told me to. And I don't want any blood on my hands. So, with that said, be careful about what you put into your bodies. Your bodies are temples. Your bodies are houses to do the work of the Creator. And we're supposed to live a certain way. We should not be consuming things like this that distract us and help us escape. You are supposed to get down on your knees, look up and call upon the Creator so that He can deliver you and help you escape whatever is coming for you, not drugs. You're not supposed to rely on man or lean on your own understanding. You're supposed to rely on Him. So the fact that people are having to use substances in order to escape what they're trying to escape is a clear sign that you're not doing what you're supposed to do. So that is all I have. I'm going to end this video now. A link to this story will be in the description. Just pay attention. Just do a search of zombie and filter it for the last, say, 30, 60 days. You'll see there's definitely some predictive programming going on. So I want y'all to pay attention to it. All right, y'all. This is Marley K. Love y'all. And I'm out.